not buy new construction. I repeat, do not buy a home that is new construction.
So the homeowner's garage door does not close. You have to hold the button down. And so the builder said, we're not fixing that. You should fix it with toilet paper rolls.
You gotta be an absolute mammoth. I'm 6'1", and I'm fully extended, arm fully extended to use that. Look at this. This is the door. Door seal is taller than me.
Things are built like absolute shit these days. We just bought this new house like, what, I don't know, a year ago.
All right, new builds, that's the question. I see so many people wanting to buy new instead of buying a resale, something that's been around for a while. Well, I want to talk about some of the things you could run into. I've talked about this numerously on this channel since I happen to do a lot of real estate on this channel and I happen to be a real estate agent and investor. Let's talk about this from a professional standpoint. There's so many things to look at. Let's get down to it and watch these videos.
This builder is not properly installing your fresh air system. It has to have 10 feet of clearance, but there is an exception. So say this plumbing vent is too close to the FAV, which it is. It has to be at least 3 feet higher. So let's measure it. We've got the level, and that is nowhere near high enough. Now, Cy, why is this bad? Well, one, it's a requirement. Two, you don't want your sewer gas getting sucked into your fresh air system. There's a reason it's called a fresh air system and not a poop air system. And also be careful, because I often see this installed next to a B vent, which is going to lead to carbon monoxide issues. And I need to do a video on that, where a family recently died because the fresh air system was too close to a gas vent.
So this is Cy. He has a big TikTok channel and he's right. Look, a lot of people say this is just being petty. It's not. If you've ever installed a sewer system, that gas will go in your house if it's not vented correctly. If you're wondering what that stinky smell is in your house you just can't get rid of, it's probably your sewer. And when you do not put that stack high enough on a roof, it will do this. If you're buying a new property, okay, make sure that property was built correctly. A lot of times, these subcontractors are not the licensed professional. They're just the guy out there doing the work. And you got to make sure before that 1-year warranty is out or before you close that these things are correct. Many people say this is just being petty, but it's not. This is a big investment. It must be done right. There's a reason why there's building codes, is because somebody has said there's a problem in the past and this is how we fixed it.
Please get help. Your home's probably not built to code. It's probably got a gas leak, and it probably has tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of warranted repairs. Now, I can't tell you who the builder is, but if you're out here in Madera, please get help, especially if you have those TP homes. But let's take a look at today's inspection. Well, I didn't have to go anywhere to see all the roof issues. So that one's a little hard to see, but that one's broken. And more broken tiles over there. When they're exposing the interlayment, I will push them back together. We just don't want the builder leaving that exposed for several months, because they're in no rush to fix your home. Now, once again, this is a shocker. My gas meter's not leaking, but one right next to me, yeah, that one's leaking. Let me show you. There's your leak. What's going on? Hello. We just ran into each other just a little while ago, right?
Yeah.
I think the home's vacant. I don't think anyone lives here.
Yeah. Well, I am gonna have to shut it off too.
Okay. And then leave it off?
Yeah. So I have to turn it off for the repairs, and I can't turn it on
because
just because I don't know what's in there, and I don't know.
Because you can't check it. Makes sense. So they must have came out. They did fix the gas leak, but because this home is vacant, they had to lock the gas because they need to make sure everything is safe inside. And don't forget to check your tubs and showers, because those are typically installed incorrectly, broken, or leak. So you may be able to see the crack right there, but this is all cracked. Can you see it now? And no, it's not just one tub and shower. They're all installed incorrectly. And these are going to lead to leaks, and these are going to lead to very expensive repairs. Now, you're not going to be able to see the big bump right here, but this should show you that it's not properly sloped to the drain and why the water pools. The builder knows about this. They chose not to fix it, but we're going to fix that. But if you squint, it's mint.
If I can say anything about buying a new build, 1, always have a home inspection. 2, always have a mold inspection. You'd be surprised how many times these houses are left open to the rain while they're building them. Half the time they don't even have a roof on them until 3-4 weeks into it. I've showed many homeowners that have bought new builds that had mold problems and their house wound up making them sick. These houses are built at an alarmingly fast rate, and you got to make sure you hold them accountable. We don't need broken showers. Roofs are probably the worst because they restrict most inspectors from getting on the roof, and you wind up seeing nail heads popped out, broken tiles, many things that you could have caught in the inspection process. Now you're not finding out until you got sheetrock damage with water coming down through it because it rained real hard that night. I mean, we see stuff like this all the time where you're like, how did they design that house? And we know that that truck is not going to fit in that garage, and why did they build it so short? A lot of times these architects just don't look at things properly. Like right here, like who's going to be able to reach those outlets? After they build the stair system, your car's not going to fit in the garage. We got to think about these things, especially in the build process and the inspection process.
This is insane. Look at this, guys. Check this out. I just walked in this new build, walked in the garage, and look at this. That's right. The garage door is like, dude, 8 feet off the ground. Oh, we got plugs though too. Don't worry. We got plugs that you gotta be an absolute mammoth. I'm 6'1", and I'm fully extended, arm fully extended to use that. Look at this. This is the door. Door seal is taller than me. This is absolute insanity, dude. It is. What's crazy is it's a normal size garage. See, normal size garage. So your options are stairs that come down that wall and you only have one spot for a car, or stairs that come down that wall and you have to have a really short car because it's still the same size garage. That is insanity, guys. If you thought it was just in that one house, absolutely not. It's in every single one of these houses, man. Golly.
It's almost like the grade was so bad on that lot that they just poured it full of concrete. It was like, oh, let's throw in a garage here. Don't care if any car will never fit in it, and we're just going to make it work. And I would look at a lot of these floor plans before you purchase one, because floor plans tend to be like fashion. They kind of like cycle in and cycle out. I remember before everybody wanted lots of rooms. Now they want open concept. And the reason why I personally think open concept became a thing, they kind of make it a thing, kind of like acoustic ceilings, is because it's cheaper to build an open concept house. Okay, you don't have as much framing. You can literally throw some walls up, put a kitchen in there, you can see the whole thing. Don't have to worry about sheetrocking a bunch of rooms, and you can build a house really fast by just building 4 walls, 3 bedrooms, putting 2 utilities in there for bathrooms, you know, sewer, water, and a rock on. And you can throw up a house really fast like that. Kind of like acoustic ceilings. When you just spray a bunch of stuff on the sheetrock, you don't see the imperfections and it doesn't take as much finishing work. What do you think about this? Comments down below. I want to hear all your opinions. This is how we learn.
To show home inspector known for his videos exposing problems that he finds during inspections will not face discipline.
You see that leaning block wall?
He specializes in new construction homes in Arizona, and his videos oftentimes expose flaws he finds, informing homeowners of their rights under Arizona law. But his inspection videos showing Taylor Morrison homes prompted the company to file a complaint against him with the Arizona State Board of Technical Registration, which regulates Porter's industry and his license. In the complaint, Taylor Morrison described Porter's posts as harassing, falsified, and bullying. This week, the board holding a hearing to discuss the complaint. The investigator assigned to the case saying there was no evidence to show Porter lied in any of his videos. A Taylor Morrison representative calling for Porter's license to be suspended. Board members had differing opinions. One called for discipline. Another said there was no violation and Porter's videos are protected. Ultimately, the board did not discipline Porter.
videos expose.
This is what they do, okay? If you go after home builders enough, they have lots of attorneys. Heck, half the time they're owned by a law firm. They have their own contracts. They do their own title work. They're oftentimes the financer, the lender, and the real estate agent. How they can do all this at once is beyond me, and it still be illegal. And then what they do is when you start pointing out that they're building trash houses, like a home inspector, they attack the license of the home inspector or the bug guy or the real estate agent that points it out. And then you have to go before some board 200 miles away, and you have to defend yourself, oftentimes having to hire your own attorney or your own arbitrator or whatever. And here you are arguing against a major home builder. And this is how they bully people to not fight back, to say you're building trash. I know lots of builders that have built trash. I do believe that most of these inspectors that are making these videos are going to wind up getting sued. I'm just an independent opinion here. I think Cy is pointing out a lot of great things. Will they allow him to do this? The world is crooked. And people need to know that these houses have these mistakes. Not all new builds have these mistakes. A lot of them do. My last walkthrough on a new build, I used an entire roll of blue tape, sticking all the problems. But usually what will happen is they'll come back and they'll fix those things. But you shouldn't close on your house with all those problems. Here's the problem with that idea, is when the housing market was booming, if you did that, the builder would just allow the contract to elapse. They wouldn't continue the contract. You'd lose your rate lock and then your lender's fees, and then they would relist at a higher price and find another buyer. That's how fast they were selling these. So the market, the rules of real estate, the rules of lending, and the rules of litigation allow these home builders to take massive advantage of people. That's wild. And many of these home builders, corporations and LLCs, were buying these buildings or these houses, and the homeowners weren't even being able to purchase them. Go look at how many new homes were purchased by large conglomerates, LLCs, corporations, hedge funds. I know quite a few portfolios that were just build to rent. And they were built by some of these manufacturers, and they just became rentals. I could go on for days about this stuff, but we saw so much shoddy work made by subcontractors that came in that are no longer in that area because they're migratory, and there's nobody to sue. And what are you going to do? Many of these corporations just contract this stuff out, and you never see the contractor, the subcontractor again.
Things are built like absolute shit these days. We just bought this new house like, what, I don't know, a year ago, and it's a new build. Great, love that. We complained to the builder that the floors are really squeaky. I said, oh yeah, it's because you guys keep turning off the AC and then turning it back on. First off, no, I don't. If you know me, it's an icebox in my home all the time. So 8 months later of lots and back and forth of it being our issue, they're finally fixing it. Great, love that. Let's see what they actually did building this house, because it's ridiculous. They missed installing the floors correctly. All of those nails should be in, my understanding, the subfloor or something like that. So the floors just squeak the second you step on them. Squeaky, 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 everywhere. Come on, bro. How is that passed?
This is so real, okay? If you know me, every time I go to an Airbnb, I walk around jumping up and down on the floors, because you can tell how shoddy these newer houses, especially townhomes, are built when it comes to your floor squeaking. And the reason why it squeaks is, in her case, they missed the floor joist, nailing the subfloor to it. And over time, when you're walking, that floor, starts to wiggle its way through. They build it with nails, and they just run down the joist with a nail gun going boom, 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 boom. And if you've ever crawled in your attic after you've had a roof replaced, and you see how many nails missed, you would be shocked, okay? It's one of my biggest pet peeves. It causes by having an idiot with a nail gun running around just hitting stuff. Half the time they miss stuff, and if they get one or two in there, they call it a day. And I blame the inspectors for allowing this to happen, because these county officials are not getting on top of the roofs. They're not going in the attics to inspect the roof. They just sit at the street, they take a picture, they write it down, and then if there's a problem, you've got to go on John's contractor license and sue him. It's a complete ridiculous way of doing real estate. The bureaucracy has allowed this stuff to happen. I know you can't inspect everything, but when you've got a company that is operating as a corporation, and they get caught with this so much that it's synonymous with a brand, maybe you should go in there. But here's why that doesn't work, is because the moment a builder goes into an area, they go to the politicians and they say, we're going to build 3 neighborhoods and it's going to make the county a lot of money, but stay off our back. Oh, by the way, we'll pay for your lunch. Here's a watch. You know, thanks for everything you do for us. Don't question us again or we'll sue you into oblivion. And the county attorney doesn't want to get caught up being in court for the next 2 years because their inspectors went against the builder. That's how this stuff works. Politics, everybody. Gotta hold politicians accountable, especially mayors and county commissioners. You see stuff like this all the time where it's just shoddy work. Right here, like the grout should not look like that. One, it's going to wind up popping and breaking. Tile, if it is not done level and precise, will pop, break. The grout lines will get mold and mildew in them. And if they did work that bad, they probably didn't seal the grout lines to begin with. I mean, right now you see how off the grade is. So when you step on the edge of that tile over and over and over again, it's going to pop. And your new floors in like 4 years is going to look like absolute garbage. And you're going to be paying for a tile job. Especially off-grade houses. If you get tile like that in an off-grade house, you are going to have a mess. I personally hate tile because of this. But even if you lay a plank down like that, it's going to eventually start to pop. Floors have to be even. They have to be done well. And this is a perfect idea of a bad contractor that's probably gone.
Builder said this was the only day that we could do the inspection on this new build, so let's see what inspection ready looks like. Starting off strong. What a great design. Water heater's unplugged. I'm not allowed to plug these in because it's a liability to us, so that sucks.
When you're walking around a house and you see finishing work that is just so blatantly obvious that it's done wrong, now factor that in your entire house, okay? Because whatever foreman that was walking around that doesn't see stuff like this, cracked tubs, you know, trim that's bad, holes in walls, he didn't look at how the house was framed as it was going up. Be very wary. Hit the red button, eject out of that deal if you see too much of this. I mean, look at this right here. You've got sheetrock that is not laid level. You probably got framing problems underneath there because the wood twisted and they're just patch jobbing it and making up with it for mud. You know, sheetrock mud. And your whole house is going to be like this. Odds are, probably set in the rain for a while.
Brand new furnace. Got some corrosion there. Looks like that exhaust is leaking. And it's trickled down to the bottom as well. Last but not least, we are in the crawl space and we've got another set of cut flanges here.
And if you don't get on the roof, you don't see that the sewer vent is not open. There's a cap on top of it. And what winds up happening? Plumber comes out there, you spend a couple $1,000s and maybe getting your sewer scoped or, you know, whatever. By the time he figures out the top up there has not been vented. And I had a buddy the other day spent $3,000 on having his sewer scoped, you know, from the toilet all the way out to the street, and his toilet wouldn't flush. And his toilet backed up twice over his nice tile. So sewer water, nasty water, going down his hallway, all because a squirrel had gotten into his sewer vent, the one we just saw cap, and wouldn't let the toilet flush. Well, by the time they figured out a squirrel was dead in the sewer pipe and the stack up there, he had flooded his whole house and had 2 visits from the plumber, costing him a bunch of money. So just something like that a foreman or a job site manager didn't notice when they were checking this house off before they listed it can cost you a bunch of money. I mean, that's a minor thing. Now let's factor that into ACs not being taped up properly or the ducting not being done properly, and you waste $1,000 over the course of a year because your AC bill is huge because it's just running into the attic, and you're wondering why my house isn't cold all the time. It's because your AC is going in the attic. So many of these things, minor details, but they can cause a major problem.
Do not buy new construction. I repeat, do not buy a home that is new construction. I'm going to tell y'all a little story. I bought a home roughly seven and a half years ago from the company one of the worst building, development companies there is out there. They put these homes up fast and cheap. So I bought a home from D.R. Horton, brand new home. It was a townhouse and was the first one on the block to purchase a home. First ones on the block. They offered an incentive they usually do under new construction to pay majority of the closing costs, which is the reason why I went for it, because that closing costs can get expensive. And this was in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, so very expensive. So they were paying, offering to pay majority of the closing costs. So went with them, and it was new construction. 2, maybe 3 years in, house already has a major plumbing problem. We had the kitchen was right below the master bathroom. It was 2-story, obviously, townhouse. So the kitchen was right below the master bathroom. I take a shower one day, then come downstairs and almost bust my ass in the kitchen. Water everywhere. I'm like, damn, what's going on? Like, I ain't leave the sink running or nothing like that. The dishwasher ain't flooded. What's going on? The washing machine ain't flooded. What's going on? So I'm looking around, scratching my head, and then I look up. I see a huge water stain in the roof, in the ceiling. So I'm tall enough. I take my finger, poke right through it. Water, just dripping. I'm like, damn, what the hell? Had 3 plumbers come to diagnose the problem. 3. Every last one of them came in there and said, who built this house? It said D.R. Horton. They said, let me show you something. The first one said, let me show you something. He said, you see these pipes right here? Put the little flashlight. See these pipes right here? Terrible. All this material, cheap. He said, you would have had to redo all this sooner or later. I said, okay, thank you, sir. Next one. The next one had worked on a couple houses in the neighborhood, and as soon as he came in the house and he looked at the hole in that kitchen, he said, I don't even need to go up there. He said, I already know what the problem is. I said, what you mean? He said, your neighbors I've done 3 houses. They all had the same problem. Third one come in. The reason why I get the third one is because it's my dad's guy that he uses. So third one come in. The reason why I get the third one is because it's my dad's guy that he uses. So I was like, I should just use him from the jump. But he come in there, he put the little flashlight. He said, yep, these pipes is trash, and I already know what the problem is. Do not buy new construction. They are putting these houses up fast and cheap. You're looking especially if it's your first home, you're going to look at it and see a nice home. Oh, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-car garage, nice yard space. Oh my God, look at the neighborhood, honey. Let's get it.
So this is a prime example of what I was talking about. I'm guaranteeing he did not have a home inspection, okay? Most of the time when you call a home inspector, they've done multiple houses in your neighborhood before, and they're all built by the same builder. And they usually all have the same problems. Like if you said Tiger Point, some home inspectors will be like, stucco. If you said Navarre, oh, those yards flood. If you said Holly by the Sea, oh, flood. If you said any of they all have their common concerns. And you've done real estate enough to say, we probably have these problems. That's why I always hammer, have a home inspection. But what happens when you're the builder, you're the real estate agent, you're the lender, you're the title company, they say, oh, hey, we'll cover your closing costs. You don't need a home inspection. You've got a 1-year warranty. We'll figure it out, knowing that they're probably not going to catch it in the first year. And I'm willing to bet the probability of people actually doing their 1-year warranty on time is very low. They know this statistically. And you wind up in this scenario. You never got any of the plumbing checked. You never got any of the plumbing fixtures checked. You never got your roof looked at. you never got any of these things looked at, and you didn't realize it had termites before you even closed on it, and all of a sudden, oh, I gotta scope my entire sewer system now because it's in the slab, and that's gonna cost $10,000 because it needs a repair, and the sewer line is not on a decline to the street. Like it's not angled properly, so it won't drain, or it's got a bow in it, or whatnot. Or there wasn't even a P-trap underneath the sink to begin with. I see so many of these things over and over again, but people always say, I don't need a home inspector. I don't need a real estate agent on my own. I don't need a professional. And they wind up paying tens of thousands of dollars on the other end because they didn't do it correctly. Real estate is about mitigating risk. It's about checking boxes to make sure that maybe I narrow down the problems that I'm going to have in the future. And if I did encounter a problem, how can I fix that before we close? You got to know how to navigate this stuff. And most of the time, the builder contracts, which they make you use, are always wired for them to win.
Now, I've been keeping this on the DL, but we're ready.
Ooh, there's a fail.
Now, I've been keeping this on the DL, but we're ready.
Ooh, there's a fail. -6. That's a red flag.
So you know how I've been showing you how these homes don't have the proper insulation, yet somehow they're passing and getting those energy certificates? Well, guess what? We've got a team now. We're going to show you that even though these homes are passing, well, they're not really passing. They don't have the proper insulation depth. They're not passing the tests they're required to pass to get that energy certificate. So please reach out. I honestly believe this is going to be your second most important inspection after your closing warranty inspection. Let's get all these homes tested. Let's make sure everyone actually has an energy efficient home, and those builders are getting those tax credits they claim they're supposed to be getting. So the homeowner's garage door does not close. You have to hold the button down. And so the builder said, we're not fixing that. You should fix it with toilet paper rolls. Yes, a builder told you to fix your home with toilet paper rolls when it's under warranty. Garage door's open. We're going to press the button. And it doesn't work. The only way their garage door is going to close is when you hold the button down. $1 million. They want you to fix it with toilet paper rolls. Dead serious. Can't make this up. And now it's closed. Now I can't tell you who the builder is, but if you're in this community, oh boy. And now it's closed. Now I can't tell you who the builder is, but if you're in this community, oh boy, you need a lot of help. Now, what I find ironic, the warranty reps from this builder are not being truthful. So this is the 2-year, and you can see incomplete work all over the place. So how would you feel if you spent $2 million? And this is what the exterior of your home looks like after just over a year. And look at that. Not only did they try to patch the tiles when they're not supposed to, tiles are still broken. This is my new favorite, the screw you finish. I don't even bother uncovering screws anymore. So this is the 2-year warranty inspection, and the homeowner still does not have the proper insulation depth. So they're going to need 2 years of compensation. That is not 8.3 inches. But wait, there's more. Can you see that back there? That is the gas water heater vent against insulation. It needs 1 inch of clearance. That's what we call a fire hazard. Now this is going to be another shocker, but my gas meter's not leaking today. But the neighbor came out and said hi, said he follows me. So I thought, I'll check his gas meter. And guess what? It leaks. Definitely leaking. How many gas leaks did you find? Were there 2?
I found one up here too.
Okay, this one had a leak too though, right?
One of the big tests they're trying to do now is go in and check the AC system to make sure it's actually sealed properly. You get this kind of like circular motion of your AC when it's going in the intake and back out into your house. Well, if your AC system up in the top, your duct system have holes in it and they're not sealed properly. One, some of your AC goes into your attic, doesn't go into your house, makes your utility bill go up. But two, you're getting attic air back into your AC system, or you're getting other outside air that's either dirty or whatever going back in your AC system. You ever seen how your AC system has a filter on it and it's collecting all of that dust before it gets into your system? Well, if you have holes in and around it, it's all still getting into your duct system. They're starting to come up with ways to make sure that it's done correctly, sealed correctly before you close and you don't run into these problems. A new build should be done correctly. Now, if you're buying a 50-year-old, 70-year-old house, there's going to be some issues because it's been neglected. Well, of course, you're going to have to overlook some things, but on a new build, you shouldn't be overlooking anything. It's a new build.
Hey, 2025 new build, this home is right at the $1 million mark. Let's go check it out. Starting out on the exterior of the home, checking windows. Here we have a broken window frame. Gutter downspout is not connected to the underground drainage system. That's not going to do any good. Attic area, top cuts on the rafters where they connect to the ridge are poorly cut. Attic insulation does not meet the spec sheet of 13 inches. You can see the back one does when they pile the insulation up. Kitchen island countertop surface is damaged. Primary bathroom, testing for GFCI receptacles. All bathroom receptacles should be GFCI protected or receptacles within 6 foot of a water source. Not GFCI protected. Same goes for the laundry. Dryer is GFCI protected, washer is not. Back to the primary bathroom, checking the enclosure tiles. We have cracked tiles. Spare bathroom sink is leaking water in the hot water connection to the faucet. Upstairs, thermal imaging scan, checking for missing insulation. Have some there. More here. And more here. Okay,
and this is a multi-million-dollar house. You know, those little guns you saw him use, that's basically a thermal scanner. Those things are amazing. And they can find so many things, from water leaks to missing insulation to, heck, a rat living in the wall. I find it interesting that there's so many problems equated to so many of these builders. The Department of Justice and many of these attorneys that are running around suing everybody don't go in for a class action lawsuit on a lot of these. I'm willing to bet that I'm not a lawyer, but I'm willing to bet that there is grounds for enough people losing money on these neighborhoods. I mean, I've seen sinkholes, I've seen mold, I've seen, houses just not built to the diagrams they applied for at the county. We just saw in this video a house with a garage that's too short. We saw, $1 million house, missing insulation, broken everything. And then you're buying a product, right? You're buying a product that's supposed to be new, with new everything, built to a reasonable expectation of new. And I'm willing to bet if a judge looked at the end product of some of these houses, they would say, you know what, that's not the expectation of a new house. That is garbage. But here's the problem. It's a homeowner funding the legal battle against a multi-billion-dollar corporation in court. Who do you think's going to win that? Who do you think's going to win that? Now, here's the other part of that. If you said, okay, attorney's fees are covered by the loser of this battle, and the attorneys know that they can defend a homeowner against a corporation, and attorney's fees are going to be covered in the battle, well, maybe we could equate some of this out. But we also don't want people running around just suing home builders either. I mean, there's got to be some expectation, but right now, nobody's going to sue these home builders and win. Nobody. And it's such crappy work. What do you think? Comments down below. Right, wrong. I'm not an attorney. I'm just a dude talking about it on the internet. Just my opinion.
And it's hot in Idaho, and I'm a little bit busy, but I figured I'd show y'all what this new build is looking like, because I found some fun stuff already. At the panel for the house here, this is the main. There's only one panel. We have these doubled whites right here. These neutrals are doubled up. Haven't been able to do that in this area since the early 2000s. And we're still finding this on a brand new house. They can go to any one of these little lugs here and here, but is this just somebody that doesn't know what they're doing or just careless?
So this right here tells me this isn't a local electrician. Any electrician worth their salt will know not to do a panel like this. You got double taps, you got neutrals and grounds all on the same bus bar. No matter how we argue with that, because I've argued about this at length with electrical inspectors, they're still going to say that's a no-go at this station, okay? And for many reasons, and there's lots of good reasons. But we all know this isn't correct, but yet it's happening on a new build, which tells me it's not a journeyman. It's not a master electrician. This is Handyman Bob wiring up an electrical panel, and they're moving on, and the electrical inspector from the county did not go look at this. Like, it shouldn't be at the occupancy stage with an electrical box looking like this. I'm not an electrician, not a master electrician, and I know better than this, okay? YouTube, in 10 minutes, you'll know that this is not how you wire a panel box. Comments down below. I know somebody's going to say in the comment section that in their area of Northern Ontario, you can do this. Don't do it. It's not the correct way, and there's a reason for it.
You got to look real close just to see if you can find something wrong. There's weather stripping on the garage door. And that thing is jammed shut, so I can't open that door. This one works. So every time I start a dishwasher, I always hang out for a couple seconds to see if it starts to leak, just for instances like this. And so I hung out for about 2 minutes while I was checking some kitchen stuff, and I left, and I come back inside to this. So we're taking a look at our kitchen.
If you've ever done any plumbing work, you know that you have to go back 3 times to make sure something's not dripping. It's because it is really hard to get the first time. Same way with a roof after the first rain. You could have a leak, and you're always getting a call back. And when it comes to washing machines, hot water heaters, dishwashers, you're going to have leaks, especially the connections underneath your sink where your sink nozzles are for turning it on and off. You're probably going to have a leak. And many of the faucets nowadays, you've got cheap plastic parts and they can leak. If that house has never been lived in, you're going to find problems. The first night you stay in a house, you're going to find the problems because nobody's lived in that house yet. There's going to be problems. And it's not really always on the builder. That's just plumbing 101. Sometimes you just don't get the leak the first time.
Exhaust and all of our trim they went nuts with, but that's not what we're looking at. So you can hear it running. Hopefully there's a lawnmower in the background, but see how these aren't opening? So it's got a big crown right here in the middle because they installed this too tight. So when they drilled this in on these corners here, they bowed it that way, and then now these vents, flaps won't open. Man, these cabinets are looking good. Boop, boop. And one for good measure. Finally down in the crawl space, and we've got a joist support stud, and, well, there's a floor joist, but what's supporting that one? Nothing.
You know, there once was a time when a craftsman was very into what he was doing, that this was his name on a house, that somebody equated that work to his reputation or her reputation. But we've lost that, and I'll tell you why. Because most of these workers aren't going to be in this area tomorrow. They could care less. But when it comes to finishing work, that's an art form. And if you look at some finishing work that is awful, you know that wasn't a professional. That wasn't a professional craftsman. That's just somebody they recruited for $12 an hour to go in there and nail some stuff together and make up with it with some spackle and caulk.
So, if you were buying a brand new house, would this bother you? In this kitchen, we have 8 light fixtures, 4 and then 4. One switch operates 5 of them. One switch operates 3. And on this side, these 3 are in a row, and this one's not even in alignment with these. Would that bother you?
That would 100% bother me. This tells me a lot of things. One, the electrician wasn't a professional because there's no way he would be happy with that job. 2, you're going to have to turn 2 switches off to have all the lights off. I mean, who wants half on, half off? I mean, you could have put them on a dimmer, but it's not like they couldn't put them all on the same circuit because those lights don't draw that many amps, okay? this would forevermore tell me that whoever wired the entire house was a moron. Just a fact. Now you need to go check everything in a panel box to make sure that same dude didn't wire up everything in your bathroom, everything in your garage. Why are certain outlets not working? Oh, now we have some reverse polarity somewhere in another room. And oh, by the way, the ground's now hot because we didn't know what we were doing in the box. Takes us back to that last clip. This would so aggravate me if I saw it on an inspection report or if it was my house, because it's going to create future problems. And then if you have an electrical problem that you call a master electrician out for, he's going to charge you extra because whoever wired the house didn't put it all on the right circuits, and it's going to take him forever to figure out the problem. Because odds are there's going to be another problem somewhere, and the sheetrock's already up, so you don't know what's in there. That's my thought on that. But that's all I got on this video. There are so many things that we talk about in these videos where people are just like, let's bring back the old houses when they were built with actual 2x4s instead of, 1.5 by 3.5 2x4s that they call 2x4s, but they're not 2x4s anymore. Or back when wood was wood and not pieces of toothpicks. I mean, everything in a house now is built for it to go bad. Everything from the connectors underneath your faucets, to the nails rusting out in no time, to the wood being soft, to now all of a sudden we're building these houses out of nothing but particle board, house wrap, and some vinyl siding. And then we're calling that a new build. Back in the old days, some of these master craftsmen would have been ashamed to call some of these houses houses. But don't get me wrong, some of these houses are built well. You just got to make sure that you mitigate the risk by having your own real estate agent. Don't use a new build agent as your agent from the buy side. Don't cheap out on the inspection. Two parts of an inspection. Have a home inspector. Make sure you do your 4-point and your roof inspection and everything. And then make sure you do a mold inspection, because a lot of these houses have sat in the rain while they're building an entire neighborhood and they got rained on a lot. If you're getting an off-grade house, make sure somebody crawls underneath it. Make sure you get a bug. Make sure you get a WDO, that's termites, wood-destroying organisms, because yes, new builds can get termites. I showed that in one of my old videos. If you're going into an HOA, make sure you know the covenants. Make sure your real estate agent pulls the HOA documents and you know what you're buying into. And if you're trying to cheap out on a home inspection to save $500, it will come back to bite you 10, 15 years from now, or even 3 years from now. And if the $500 is too much, maybe we shouldn't buy a house. That's just my opinion on that. It is a very expensive thing, and there's a reason why they say a mortgage broker will make you broker. But that's all I got, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment down below. Don't forget that if you're looking to buy real estate in the Gulf Coast of Florida, Alabama, my email is down below. I'll be happy to help you. And if you're looking for an agent anywhere in the country, I can help you find one. My email is down below. I'd be happy to refer you one. And on to the next video. I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about new builds? I'll see you guys in the next video.